The action is the juice. Back on our bullshit for year number 10. Damn, that makes me happy. I'm Mike. That is Chuck, and that is also Fitz. Fitz, when we started doing this, I wasn't married. You were probably playing disc golf every day.
No, but yeah, close. Something like that.
But yeah, man, year 10 of action is the juice. If you're watching, hopefully we've helped you win some money over the years, or at least had a really good time. That's kind of all you can hope for here. But yeah, excited to do the season preview for year 10. If you're familiar with us, we'll do an overall, we'll do a running back, wide receiver, and quarterback and tight end episode. We've learned some tricks over the years, and the main goal here is to help you win your fantasy league, flat out. Actionable advice, things that we do, and the ways that we like to crack the code or cheat the system. So over the last couple of years, I think this is year 3 for Chuck. Am I right?
I think this is year 3.
Year 3. Yeah, so I finally found somebody that's as big of a degenerate as I am in this space, and is willing to spend as much money as I am in this space to prove that they're smarter than random strangers. And so we brought Chuck along for the ride in the sidecar, and he's been a great addition. So yeah, that's Chuck. That's Fitz. This is 1 decade of Action is the Juice. And if you're watching us on the Dumb Zone YouTube page, hey, welcome and thank you. This is a whole other audience that obviously there's some crossover because they are from the Blowout Podcast Network and Ticket, brethren. So not completely new group of people, but if you're new to this, thanks for checking it out, man. And hope you watch the rest of them and get some advice that helps you win your league. That's as much setup as I'm going to do at the beginning of these episodes. So if you jump into the next ones, we're just flying. So that's as much beating around the bush as we're going to do. And right off the top, guys, how are we feeling about the 2025 player pool thus far? And how do we attack this thing? Where do you see the holes in the draft board of the things that you've done, the drafts you've completed? What have you liked? What have you not? I will throw it to the elder statesman Fitz to start us off.
Well, it's interesting. This year, I am, for the first time since 1998 of playing fantasy football, I'm not locked into any actual snake drafts. I've been doing auction leagues, which is, if anybody out there is considering doing one, I highly advise it. But still, you're still breaking down where the values are. You kind of break the auction values down a little differently than you would a snake draft, because you value the guys how you want to value them. You don't value them how everybody else is, throwing. You have the 9 pick. You're having to watch 8 guys go off the board. Well, if I want one of those 8 guys in front of me, I can go get him. So I really get to break down what I really think of every single guy. You have to, and we're going to do a lot of that now. But I'm having a hard time, saying going 0 wide receiver or 0 running back, and for my studs, it feels oddly balanced as I've gone through this, maybe more than other years, and a little bit deeper before it falls off for my taste. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I feel like my one thing I do exercise every single year is I'll do the first 3 weeks, maybe I'll do everything I can to avoid ADP. I don't want to know anything about ADP. I don't want groupthink. I want to take in what I see from fantasy points per game from last year. Of course, it's what everybody sort of, have to have some sort of baseline, and then go off the situation of what they're entering into. And that is my favorite exercise, is when you do reveal ADP, maybe a week before the draft, why am I different than the rest of the field? And sometimes you start adjusting because you start listening to some people, some podcasts that may make some good points, and then you start thinking, I don't understand this logic. I don't agree with it. That's how I start attacking it. But yeah, for me, it's very balanced. And if I'm in a snake draft, I think I'm wanting to get at least first round. I'm pushing for one of those top running backs. That's how I'm looking at it anyway.
Yeah, finding your edges on how it is more balanced than I think it has been in the past, and that's largely because of what happened last year with the running back group. We all got a little, I don't know, the pendulum swung back, but we'll get to that in a second. Chuck, what are you seeing thus far? I know we're in a draft that's happening right now, and we got a couple down the road. But how are you feeling about the how it's laying out so far?
This is a weird year. More than any year I can remember, I don't feel settled yet. Speaking as a redraft, snake draft only person, it really feels like it's a puzzle that I haven't quite solved yet. And more than any year that I can remember, at least in the first couple rounds, your draft slot is really going to determine a lot of your structure and a lot of your build. If you've got a pick in the early part of the first round, you're going to be starting with a running back for the most part, unless you have the 101 where almost every site is going to have Jamar Chase. If you're in the back half of the round, your best picks are going to be a receiver, most likely. And so I'm trying to think through how to start like that and how to build teams that have an edge and can win. And more than any other year that I can remember, I find myself coming out of the first couple rounds with multiple running backs, which has got to be music to Fitz's ears because he loves Derrick Henry and all running backs.
I've actually never owned Derrick Henry.
Yeah, what do you do? You're just full of bullshit. Like, you don't even.
I don't believe that.
I swear to God, never owned him, and I've never been one who's really pushed for him. But I will say, oddly enough, this is the year I'm looking at that first round, and I'm liking what I'm seeing when it comes to Derrick Henry. I'm like, yeah, I do like him better than Christian McCaffrey, and I feel safer taking him over pretty much all those receivers. He's like locked into 15 touchdowns this year. I don't see this being the year, but we all you never know until it happens.
Yeah, I think we're like soft playing. It's funny to watch how people are adjusting to what happened last year with the running back group, because we're all like conceding, we're all capitulating, at least from the sense of all of us slappies that chase wide receivers constantly, and we'll just take like 7 straight. We're capitulating enough to where we're like, okay, we can have 5 of them in the first round, or 6 of them, or 7 of them in the first round. But hey, I'm not saying Saquon's number 101 after the year he just had, right? We still got to dream a little bit and go like, what about Jahmyr Gibbs? Like, we can't help ourselves but like project forward instead of just going, hey, young running back, best offensive line in football, did it last year, could score more touchdowns. So there is still upside left in Saquon's game. Maybe, you can throw the argument in there that like, okay, he's not going to have as many 50-yard rushing touchdowns, but I'd say why not? We're capitulating, but we're not full on like learned our lesson, taken our medicine. And right now, I absolutely love how the first round, how basically like through the first 5 or 6 are like consistently stacking up, where I can still do what I've always done, which is like some version of anchor RB, throw like 4 wide receivers through the first 6 rounds at you and just bludgeon you to death with guys that I can make sense of or are going to have breakouts. And my 4th wide receiver is going to be better than your 2nd one. And we're just gonna play a numbers game, and I'm gonna beat you over the head with it. But Chuck, what did we learn from last year's running back avalanche? Everyone had to take their medicine and go like, okay, yeah, Derrick Henry's good, guys. I promise. I swear to God. And same thing for Saquon and on down the line.
Last year was a historic year for running back production throughout, the first 36 or so, 48 running backs. And not only that, it was partially because of none of them got injured except for the 101 Christian McCaffrey. And in a year where that happens, people that draft like I draft, people that draft like you draft are going to struggle. And last year was not the most successful year I've ever had. I mean, we still had, plenty of profitable teams. But I think the lesson that I learned from that is not necessarily that, okay, this is the new norm. I'm not taking from that, okay, 2 high safeties, cover 2 shells have really unlocked running back production underneath, because that is what defenses are giving you. if anything, I'm ready to bet against that and ready to take the counter bet that, all right, this year is going to be, a reversion to the mean where I'm trying to draft receivers more aggressively, but it's just hard because so many of the receivers, especially starting in rounds, late round 2, 3, 4, 5, I kind of have hesitation on.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that, I don't know, people will definitely get way in the weeds on fantasy and just kind of, whatever you want to call them, spreadsheet socialists or whatever Silva calls them, and they get too far away from like the actual sport that's happening. And it's like, if you told me every single defense was going to play their 2 safeties 20 yards down the field, that would change my perception of how the year is going to like unfold for most teams. And that's what happened last year. Like that was the defense that got adopted. And if you had beef up front that could get to the second level and get on linebackers, then you had a Derrick Henry season. You even had a Lions season, right, where their offensive line was dominant. And I'm excited to hear Fitz's O-line rankings whenever we get to the running back episode. But the market's come back to you, Fitz. I hope you're happy and proud of what you've done to everyone.
Well, it's been going that way. It's been a kind of a slow drag to this. Like I think I saw the offenses are running 3 wide sets at the lowest rate since 2019. And you don't see a lot of the, because of that, you're not seeing these. You're seeing the alpha, and you're pushing out these slot receivers because these alphas are capable of running out of the slot, which is where a lot of this production is coming in from the high end receivers. It's also affecting tight end production, and it's also affecting running backs catching out of the backfield. At 7 straight years, we've seen running back targets go down, 7 consecutive, and it gets back to what Chuck is saying is that at some point, these coordinators are always going to adjust. They're going to see what's happening, and that's why I love the NFL. It's just trying to predict it. It changes all the time, and you see waves of it happen. And this is just we're in the middle of it right now. And I don't know how, it is still a passing league overall. Like it has been, for a while now since they've changed the rules, and that's what the coordinators have adjusted to. But it'll turn. It'll turn, and if you can capitalize on it, you're gonna, it's gonna be a cash cow.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I'm kind of like, I don't know, I'll shop this theory to you guys and see if it has legs or not. But one of the things I was very cognizant of in the last couple of years was that a lot of these players that were coming out as rookies had incomplete profiles due to COVID and the weirdness of transfer portal, right? The transfer portal is not going to change. That's how it is now. That's just, you're going to have to be able to tell if a guy was good at one place or not. Like that's just how it's going to work. But I think we've stabilized to this point to where everybody that's coming out as a rookie, I know who they are. Like I know who all these guys are. Like I can tell you whether or not this guy's got a weakness here, whether he can catch balls out of the backfield, whether he can't. And so I found myself through the drafts that I've done, and I've done 1 million dynasty drafts thus far. I think I have like 6 or 7 dynasty leagues, and I've done all those rookie drafts. And everyone, I'm sitting there wanting more rookie picks because I feel like whenever I'm getting into this redraft season and this main event season and Best Ball Mania season, like, dude, if I could draft every rookie I like at their proper ADP right now, I think I would beat the shit out of every team in this tournament. If all of the rookies that I like fell to their proper ADP, and then, you're not going to have a quarterback. I'm not doing Cam Ward. I'm not doing that shit. But if you give me every rookie that is in the first, 12 rounds, that is a wide receiver, tight end, running back at their spot, I think I'm winning it. Because these are really, really good spots. Like, I love where all these dudes are falling. And I think that's a long way of saying, like, I think the NFL draft is getting it right again. I think they're getting it right again. Like, if you're a top 50 pick, a top 100, if you throw in running backs this year, because a lot of guys fell because it was such a deep running back class. if you are in that upper echelon of dudes that got picked as a skill position player, I think you are the real deal. Because we are outside of that danger zone of like incomplete profiles, of being unsure on these dudes. There is still, there's still a Travis Hunter where you're like, he could be everything or he could be nothing, whatever. But I don't know. I'm falling in love with the rookie class. Like if I could take one in rounds like 3 through 9, I'll do it if the right one's there. I don't know how y'all are feeling about it, but where are you landing with these rookies thus far, Chuck?
Drafting rookies in redraft has been a cheat code for, I don't know, at least as long as this show has been running. And we are faced with this year a historically deep and historically, I don't know about top shelf talent, but this is a great running back class. And I really, really, really like almost every rookie running back in the round that they're going. Genty's hard because he's going amongst like apex predators, but
that's pricey. Yeah.
Yeah, too much.
Every other rookie running back is almost the best pick in his round.
Yeah.
To the board.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where it's, and they all have, I don't know. You throw these guys into like previous years player stacks, and it's like, yeah, he's obviously the best rookie in this group or the best player in this like round. Like, I don't know why Caleb Johnson is going where he's going. Like, I have no fucking idea. Like, I can't explain why he's going as late as he's going. And there's a handful of those. And I'm like, okay.
He can't catch passes, maybe? They don't think he can catch passes, and Jalen Warren, that's got to be it.
You mean Jalen Warren, the guy that couldn't hold off Najee Harris?
Yeah.
For like multiple years?
And fewer snaps than Aaron Rodgers hate.
Yeah, Arthur Smith. I've seen Arthur Smith. I've seen what he does to an offense. Like, it's going to be so goddamn boring when Caleb Johnson gets 22 carries for 93 yards and a tutty. Like, it's going to be miserable, but you're going to be like, hey, I really like that 16 points. I really enjoyed it.
7th round?
Yeah, he's going late, but there's a handful of those dudes. I mean,
yeah.
You threw these guys into like previous years player stacks on the rookie side, and we're like falling all over ourselves to take these guys. But I think we're almost like getting spoiled this year with how many good rookies are out there. And I think like same thing with Tet. What's wrong with Tet? Somebody tell me what's wrong with Tet McMillan.
Maybe he can't separate on press coverage is the one thing I've heard that could be a chink in his armor. But I mean, God, his tape is incredible. Maybe they don't trust the passing game just yet in Carolina.
That's fair. If you don't think Bryce Young has it, if you don't think they can dial it up, like, and just have an effective passing game, like, that's cool. I'll listen to that. But everything else, first round draft pick equity thrown into him. He's huge. He's not like he was expected to go there. It was not a reach. He was dominant in college. Big, huge athlete.
Who can run in the slot. Yeah, right out of the slot.
Yes, dude. We would have like, there's years where we would have like fallen all over ourselves to take Tet. And this year we're like, whatever. I don't know. I guess I'll take him if I have to with these other dudes back here. There's just like a handful of these guys in this rookie class where I'm like, man, we are overthinking this shit way too much.
The other thing about Tet, just since you brought him up, I mean, I'm thinking about him like, Adam Thielen, I think, was their number one receiver last year.
He was.
And
yep.
He's still there, but I think last I checked, he's still there. But I mean, hell, that's perfect. He has a weapon to throw to. And Bryce looked good at the end of the year last year. So, Ted at that price is, what is he, 6th round? I'm seeing wide receiver 28.
A little bit earlier, depending on where you're drafting, but
I mean, right in front of George Pickens and right after Zay Flowers, I think I'm seeing. Yeah,
like potential to be the overall like overwhelming number one on an offense. Like, what's in between Tet and a 25% target share? Xavier Legette, Jatavian Sanders,
nope.
Hunter Renfrow, if he's even on the roster as of this moment, I have no idea.
It might take a few weeks, but yeah, I mean, come talk to me in the middle of the season. I bet you he's dominating those targets.
last year I pounded the table for Malik Neighbors, and
Mhm.
it was on the idea that they're going to build the entire plane out of him. One, because they don't really have anything else. Two, because they drafted him so highly. And I feel like I'm seeing the same kind of things move into place for Tet this year. Obviously, he's not the talent that Malik Neighbors was. I get that. But, you know, if he's in the middle of the fourth or the fifth, like, I'm probably going to click him most every time.
Yeah. Let me do you want to look at our my guys list from last year just for fun?
Sure.
Just to add some pain. All right, so here we go. 2024 my guys list. From Action is the Juice. All right, Chuck's got Kyler Murray. You can take the boy out of Oklahoma. You can't take the Oklahoma out of the boy. Jaden Daniels. Boom, boom. Justin Herbert. He might want that one back. Fitz. Jalen Hurts. Ding, ding. Caleb Williams. I didn't put him on my list, but my bank account is still hurting from how bad Caleb Williams sucked shit last year.
It was terrible.
CJ Stroud. What's wrong with me? That hurts. Jaden Daniels consensus pick, or yeah, I guess 2 out of 3 is it's a majority pick. Will Levis, I don't know, man. Bo Nix got that one.
That was really nice.
That feels good. Running back. Let's check out those running backs. Devon A-Chain. That feels pretty good. I think he delivered, right? I don't know. There's not an extra little tab that they keep for efficiency. They just count how many, right? They don't count how it happens.
Do you like the highest points per game in the league when his quarterback was healthy?
Hey, I do. I'm a fan of it. Jonathan Brooks, if he would have played football, I think we would have been all right on that one. All three of us really wanted some Jonathan Brooks. Najee Harris. I'll fast forward past that one.
There's no way I picked Najee Harris in 2024.
That's shocking.
This has to be fake news. This has to be fake news.
You did. You signed it in blood. It was weird. No one asked you to, and you just like got. Joe Mixon, good call. Good call. David Montgomery, pretty solid call until his injury. Which you can't predict those. Jalen Warren. I don't remember if Jalen Warren hit or not.
He was okay at times, but I don't think he got to that. I don't think he outproduced his ADP.
He was a guy that was a fringe my guy last year, so I will stand up for this.
Yeah, you got to the edge and you retreated back to Najee Harris. It looks like Chase Brown. There you go, Fitz.
Yeah, I was all over him last year. I'm kind of upset that I didn't put Saquon because I remember having a long discussion with you guys about him last year.
You did. I remember you saying your words of wisdom were just basically like, "Hey, one of the best running backs in football with the best offensive line. Like, why are we overthinking this?"
And they paid him. Yeah,
you're probably right, man. And a quarterback that they're like not gonna put the whole fucking plane on his shoulders is not gonna happen. Jerome Ford. I don't remember if he did a single thing last year, to be honest. So
like everybody else in that offense, except the one nuclear game they got from Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah. Yep. Which we can talk about Jerry Jeudy at some point, but God damn, I see people drafting him when I'm like, holy hell, that's like 2 rounds earlier than I would. A-Chain for me, ding ding. I'll count that as a hit. James Cook, I will count that as a major hit. Tony Pollard, I'll take a W on that one. I think he was fine, wasn't he? For the 7th or 8th round pick.
At least he hit that ADP, if not outproduced it.
Yeah, Javonte. All right, I'm sorry, guys. I've given up. I've given up on Javonte. Okay, I'm done. I don't need it anymore.
Oh, but he's back.
Yeah,
so bad.
Jonathan Brooks. I'm sorry. I really wish he was healthy. Bucky Irving. Ever heard of him? Heard of that guy? He's pretty good, right? Malik Neighbors. Starting off with wide receivers for Chuck. Yep, got that one. Roma Dunze. I don't know what's going on there, man. I don't know. We need to talk about the Bears, unfortunately, at some point. Whenever we get to the wide receiver preview section, Brian Thomas Jr. off the top ropes, dude.
Major hit.
Damn.
Like the biggest hit.
Yeah. Fitz with a big reach, taking the 8th overall player as one of his guys here in Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Hey, he just walked
He
the
was
walk
good,
every
dude.
single year. Yeah.
He was great. Every week, you're just like, all right, 15 plus points. Let's go. Nico. Yep, I was on Nico too. He was great until he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Devontae Smith had some weeks.
Yeah.
Had some stretches when AJ Brown was out.
I'll take a W on that one.
Yep. Rasheed Rice, we were locked in. Same. Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think he delivered, didn't he? He was good.
He did double down because his rookie season, a lot of people were jumping ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The overreaction of him going outside the top 100. I don't know. Just a funny little thing we were doing last year. Nico from me, DJ Moore. I don't know, man. Rasheed Rice, Xavier Worthy, Jordan Addison, and just for fun, I threw AD Mitchell in there just to show you I'm human.
Nice Jordan Addison pick.
It
was good.
The dude's fucking legit, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure why people can't get on board fully. They just never will. The suspension, I love that he's getting suspended because he's falling like so far. It's like we already knew he was gonna get suspended, and then like the 3-game thing came down, and people were like, let's drop you 2 or 3 rounds, bud. I love the overreaction to Jordan Addison. Chuck with Mark and Drew. I didn't put an S on his name, so just one of them. I think that hit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was really rough. Like first.
Not in the early season. Not in the early season.
Yeah. Not a week 1 play. Some guy called Brock Bowers. We all seem to be able to spot that one a mile away. Hunter Henry. I don't know if that was a hit or not. Well,
free. It was a free draft.
That's free. Yeah.
He outproduced his ADP. I'm going to count it.
Yeah, that works. Fitz just threw 1 tight end up there, just hung dong and just said Brock Bowers, 94 overall. I had Trey McBride, pretty good little player.
Pick. Yeah.
Brock Bowers. And I just threw 2 fun ones in there. Ben Sinnott and Juwan Johnson. Not bad. That is not bad work, fellas. I think that's like I don't know. I'm not good at math, but I'm going to say like a 65-70% hit rate on the my guys, especially if we take a mulligan on Jonathan Brooks. I did remember last year, like, I don't know, I'm always looking for just like simple things that I can explain this whole game to idiots or people that just like walk into the room. And late in the season, I did settle on, hey, dumbass, just take Jaden Daniels and Brock Bowers. I was like, just keep doing that. Like, that's your solution at quarterback and tight end. It makes it so easy. So easy, dude. So to find those unlocks that late in the season, because a lot of my drafts do end up, bumping up against beginning of the season where you're not getting any, like, cheap value on it. That was fun. That was fun to have Jaden Daniels and Brock Bowers on a whole lot of teams. So we're going to try and find that pairing or that combo this year, and it might be rookies again, or it might not, but we'll get around to it. Okay, so we are a couple weeks in the preseason, and here, I'll move that so you can see my name, Bill. Who's rising in the preseason? Who's changed, I guess, in the last 3 weeks for you? And I will not step on anybody's toes if they want to run with Sir Bill, Ja'Cory, Krosky, Merritt, that situation. Chuck, I'll do the read option and hand the ball off to you on this one.
As you know, I've been a huge Travion Henderson guy for, I don't know, since the draft. And on one hand, it's nice that, the market is moving towards me. A friend of the show, John Daigle, and I had a debate kind of around rookie draft season time where he was a big Amarian Hampton guy. I was a Travion Henderson guy. Turns out we're both going to be right. But the biggest guy that's just walking on air ever higher on the board is Travion Henderson. I did a FFPC main event draft in the middle of last month, and we were fist pumping to get him in the middle of the 5th. And if you want him now on that platform, he is a late 3rd round pick.
He went 303, didn't he, in the ADP chasing or ship chasing that I listened to yesterday? I was like, God damn, guys, like just losing their minds. Fitz, who's changed your perception of them over the last 2 to 4 weeks?
Oh, I don't even know where to start here. Well, Travis Hunter, we touched on him earlier. Just kind of really analyzing Liam Cohen and looking at who's going to be running a lot of slot. Feel like obviously BTJ can do all of it, as he showed us last year. But I kind of, if Hunter, if they're in the mindset of letting Hunter ease his way into playing defense, because he's got so much to learn as a receiver, that he may just hone in on being mostly a receiver this year and just playing defense on mainly passing downs, because you've talked to DBs and receivers, like it's basically impossible to learn 2 playbooks like that for as a rookie. And he has the athletic profile for sure to step in there and run that slot out of that offense. And I mean, like, he's a better athlete than Chris Godwin is. I don't think there's any debate about that. It's just a matter of, can he be a receiver that well? But I think he's 6th round right now. Just kind of stripping it all away and kind of looking at how we looked at Brock Bowers last year. I mean, he's the best prospect in the draft. And why couldn't he step out there and get you close to 1,000 yards and 7 or 8 touchdowns and 90 catches, maybe? Who knows? That feels pretty doable to me, but he could go nuclear, and he might be a better receiver than Brian Thomas Jr. Trevor Lawrence isn't no slouch. I think he can get him the ball, and they're going to be throwing a lot. I have pretty high expectations for him, and it's growing. And in my auction league, when I had already I had Amon-Ra and CeeDee Lamb. I got him as, at the time, it was the 3rd receiver, and I felt like I like having that sort of foundation as receiver. Now I can go out and try to shoot for the moon. I love him. And then just seeing what Chicago did the other day in preseason was kind of eye-popping. It was only 2 possessions for Caleb Williams, but it showed you what is possible in that Ben Johnson offense, and made me start to wonder, okay, who is going to be the beneficiary of all of this? And then also, is Detroit about to have a little bit of regression offensively?
I think their offense has to change, and I've been toying with like who gets slighted. I think in the Detroit offense, and I don't want to give away the headline as the movie's starting, or give away the ending as the movie's starting. But I don't think they're fucking around with like 6-yard Sam Laporta curls this year. Like, I think that offensive coordinator is like, you know what, this is my shot, and this is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs and J-Mo and Amon-Ra St. Brown. And if they're not touching the ball, then I'm a dumbass. And just streamline the offense and go for it. So the guys that I think have changed my perception of them, at least some are just absolute like structural changes. Like, they're literally trying to trade Brian Robinson Jr. because of Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. And there is so much volatility in his profile. This could all just be like the funniest thing that's ever happened. And everyone's just like drafting him in single digit rounds now, because they're just expecting he could be anything. He could even be Austin Eckler. Like, you know what I mean? And so, but this stuff happens at running back, and specifically with teams that have most of the rest of the offense filled out. I mean, I had Brian Robinson on a lot of teams last year because I expected something, or he was just like that throw the life vest overboard and find me a running back too, because the ceiling's falling and I have too many wide receivers. So he ended up as like a nice little like landing spot RB2 or RB3 to make me feel better about myself, a little safety blanket. And that dude sucks. Like, I don't know how else to say it. Like, he's just not very good at modern running backing. And so I don't know if Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, if Bill is better or not, but he could be anything. There is so much volatility in his profile. He missed a year, and people just have no idea what he is. So that's intriguing. If a team believes in them enough to move a veteran incumbent starter, or and this might all be bullshit. We might wake up Friday and just be like, nah, Brian Robinson Jr. is just hurt or something. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Which
there's
would
a
be
lot
very
of
funny.
there's a lot of clutter in that Washington backfield too, as we saw last year.
Yeah.
It was just like whoever, okay, we're gonna start Chris Rodriguez, his first name,
Yeah.
Rodriguez, and
Yep.
and as you mentioned, Austin Eckler, and there, Jeremy McNick, who's the other
McWeapon.
McWeapon. Yeah, it's so even if they do trade Brian Robinson Jr., it doesn't necessarily mean that Bill is going to be the starting running back.
Yeah.
It's starting to the helium is getting a little. I don't think it's out of whack yet, but it's progressing there.
There is some helium, dude. It is hot and steamy in the Washington backfield at this moment, and I am of the belief that when guys rise, they don't rise far enough. I think that is a very sound idea. Like when we look back, I don't have an example from last year, but I probably could. I mean, when Bucky started rising late in the preseason last year, where they're like, yeah, I don't know, we're watching football now and watching Rashad White carry the ball on this offense. And then we get the direct comparison with Bucky Irving running the football on this exact team in this exact scenario. And all of the beats and all the coaches and everybody is basically telling you, like, this thing is not like that other thing. So things can change. Things can change like that. When it's a rookie, it takes time. Most of the time, it doesn't happen that quick. But Bucky didn't rise enough. Brock Bowers didn't rise enough, right? When you look back at it, even fucking Trey McBride didn't rise enough. Whenever you realize like the target share he's going to get after you look at those preseason games and practices, and he's the wide receiver one, like it or not. So Bill's super interesting to me. I know he's the industry darling at this moment, but dudes that have like significantly changed their value, and I don't want to give away all of my guys, but I also want people to be able to watch this and maybe win their league off just this one alone if they don't get to the other episodes. Pickens getting moved, that's so fucking big, dude. That's so fucking big.
Thought about you when that happened. First person I thought of.
That's so big. That's so huge for him. What's going on in Washington through the passing game?
Mm-hmm. I marked this on our preseason camp buzz items.
I love Debo. I always have. Don't give me another reason to love Debo and to think he's going to get 120 touches, because I think that's going to happen if F1 if Terry McLaurin keeps fucking around. And then the other guy that I don't know are the two other dudes that have not changed my perception, but have started rising, have some helium to them. Emeka Egbuka. I don't know if it's a clear path, but it's getting clearer. He's not like in a Tet situation where I'm like, yeah, he's going to get 25% of the passes, and am I the only one that's seeing this? That's the only thing I'm worried about with Egbuka is that Mike Evans is such a dominant target hog, and Chris Godwin is eventually going to come back and play. And I've fought the Chris Godwin thing for years, and I've eventually just like tapped out and been like, yeah, when he plays, he's going to get fucking 10 targets. That's just what it is. We'll see if it changes.
And for people who haven't heard, that McMillan, the guy who was slotted to be their three guys, out for the year.
Yeah. So you got two injuries kind of clearing the way for Egbuka, besides just the constant just like glazing that's happening when anybody talks about him. And, people knew what kind of prospect he was coming out. He'd played amongst some of the best wide receivers in football, and everyone's just, those guys can't stop talking about him. And the last dude, which I don't know if my opinion's changed or not, but it's kind of like, okay, there's some helium. He's not rising far enough. Is Tyler Warren for the Colts? Like, I know what kind of player that dude is. I was talking about him before the college football playoff last year. Like, I have one league in which I can do Debbie ad drops. Tyler Warren's been on there for a while. He's just a fucking man child. Like, he'll line up at quarterback, he'll line up at running back, he'll catch 40% of the balls in Penn State's broke ass offense. But Tyler Warren, he is not rising enough, and I want a lot of Tyler Warren. So
Daniel Jones makes it more appealing. I would
does.
say.
That's part of it. That is absolutely part of it. You are right. If it's Anthony Richardson, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if Anthony Richardson can complete a pass 10 yards down the field. He can complete them 30 for some reason.
Or 70.
Yeah. But that 10-yard range, I'm not very confident in. So yeah, there's our overall preview. I hope that helps in some fashion. We'll get way more in the weeds on specific positions as we move forward. If you have any closing thoughts, please do jump in. But to put a bow on it, I'll take a rookie in every round if you let me. Besides whenever I'm needing a quarterback, whenever I get tired, whenever I've taken too many wide receivers and running backs, and I'm like, oh shit, better make a pit stop. I'm not pit stopping for Cam Ward. That's just not a thing that's happening. So I don't know. Take all the rookies, guys. I think that'll be a pretty good plan for this year. But yeah, any closing thoughts on the overall advice section of the podcast? Chuck, I'll throw it to you first.
I think I want to know, are there any of these guys that are shooting up draft boards that either of you guys are not taking? Is there anybody that you're like, I don't know that seat is earned?
Good question.
I'd have to look at a list of dudes that are rising that hard, but
just of the names that we've talked about, because I think I'm chasing all of them, except maybe Bill, and it's only because I'm less familiar with his game.
Travion Henderson, it might be a little too early for me.
Do you not like fantasy points?
Just a little bit early for me because of what else is going on or what else is around him. I love him. I watch his tape. I love everything about him. I love what he can do, but I also look at the offensive line and it's dog shit. And they also have another running back that people are kind of forgetting about. Now he is going to catch a lot of passes, but is he going to get the goal line work? Probably not. Is he? He's could be slotted as mostly a third down back. So to pop him in the late fourth, early fifth seems a little high for me. Again, love him, love the talent. But the helium, I mean, where he was 2 weeks ago, I was all over it. But he's jumped 2.5 rounds. I was like, when he returned that kickoff for a touchdown, I'm like, fuck. And then he scored a touchdown in the preseason game from 10 yards out. I'm like, fuck. I guess I'm not getting him this year. I don't know if I'm willing to. I don't know if the price is just getting a little bit too high for me personally. I understand it. Yes, Chuck, I love him. He was my favorite running back coming out of the draft. I actually liked him more than Amarian. But yeah, man, it's just a little. If they switched roles on different teams, if it was a different team, I might be a little more inclined to take him. But we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Drake May's just going to check down to him a shit ton this year. And if you're in a full PPR format, okay, yeah, now we're talking. I don't play full PPR, but I know you guys do mostly, so I can see where our thought processes might be running into each other a little bit.
Yeah, Mike and I are left wing slappies. You're a right wing slappy.
Yeah,
do not pigeonhole me like that.
I agree. I think the thing we're kind of forgetting and all this is that this is a Mike Vrabel ran team, and I just don't know if he'll ever let a rookie running back just do that. He's the dude that had Derrick Henry for most of Derrick Henry's good years, and I know Josh McDaniels can hit or miss depending on season, but if you're taking Trevion Henderson 303 or somewhere in the third round, you're taking him as a running back one, like in my drafting style. Like you're most likely taking him as an RB1. And if you're taking him as an RB2, you're fucking up some other part of your team that I really don't want to fuck up. I mean, maybe you think you have a cheat code in the fourth and fifth, a receiver where you can like double tap something that just fixes it all for you. But man, that's really tough. That is incredibly tough to me to take Trevion Henderson in the third. I love the dude. I'd honestly much rather take Hampton in late second, just because I don't have a doubt about his coach committing to his style of play from day one. And then the Bill thing, the Bill thing could just be complete bullshit. Like it could just be like the stupidest thing that's happened in a long time. That's probably all of them. I mean, everybody else that's rising is because a team is signaling, or because I think for good reason. I can't think of one that I'm like, don't see it, can't see it. I mean, Jameson Williams is kind of like a wild one too. That's a projection. That's a straight up projection.
I have in this Fantasy Pros draft, Bill, as in case you didn't quite catch it, is Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, the running back for Washington. For some reason, he shortened his Bill. And he's running back 54, and 157 is his draft position, which they don't do it by round here, but my math tells me that's really late in the I think it's like round 14 or something. So I don't know what you have this year, but that's obviously basically free. So then yes, I'd be happy to take him in the 14th round in a snake draft.
You're not going to get him in the 14th round.
But no, it's not happening. But I maybe Fantasy Pros is just doing like a cumulative over the last three weeks. But yeah, no, he's what do you have him? What's you said 8th round?
He went in the 8th round in the main event.
Damn.
His ADP in the last 3 days in the main event is the 10.9.
Yeah, this has a 129 overall. Is that real time Fantasy Pros ADP, the one that updates like every 30 minutes. So yeah, he is flying up boards. One of the other things, I guess we didn't mention him, but Bo Nix. I know I thought he was probably way more NFL ready and could like run an NFL offense and like be fine last year. People are drafting and ranking him as if like there's like another shelf of Bo Nix to unlock. And I'm like, nah, I think that's the top shelf, bud.
Not much further he can go. You're not cracking the top 6.
I think that's him. I think that's him. Like I'll own 0 Bo Nix because I'm just he might do this every year of his career, and that'd be so cool, and I'd be so happy for him. Projecting more for Bo Nix seems absolutely insane to me. I was listening to a podcast earlier, and it was like, I think there's more. I think there's untapped potential in Bo Nix, and I was like, the guy has more college football starts than anybody in the history of the fucking sport. Has another level. Has another gear that he just has been keeping hidden for a little while. Like I don't know. That one seemed insane to throw one. I don't have a lot of quarterback hot takes, so I wanted to throw that one out there.
I mean,
he had 430 yards rushing last year and 4 touchdowns. That is really what put like, a floor under his production. And we've seen lots of NFL quarterbacks rush less as their careers progress, and I wouldn't surprise me at all to see him follow the same path. So if he rushes, for 100 less yards and scores 2 less touchdowns, now you're talking about a guy that's not a back end QB1 but a middle range QB2, and it wouldn't surprise me if that happened. I'm still fine with Bo Nix, but just let's temper expectations.
Yep,
he's in that pile of QBs of like another 12 QBs. They're just like, once you get past Mahomes, it's like 7 through whatever it is. I mean, wherever you want to decide to stop counting, where any of those guys you could take, and you have a great shot at finishing 7.
Yeah. I guess one other dude that I guess isn't rising now. I might technically be falling a little bit, but I've just never quite made myself comfortable with. It's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, cool player, cool pick. But then in like in the privacy of my own home, I never draft the guy. RJ Harvey, you sure about that? Everyone's real fucking sure. RJ Harvey's about to get 150 carries and be good. And I don't know, man. They brought in J.K. Dobbins for a reason.
Yeah,
I'm confused.
I like some RJ Harvey.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine. Well, we'll get the offensive line rankings, but that's probably reason number one. And then obviously J.K. Dobbins is. I don't know if I had him as my guy in there, but we definitely. I think he's my 100 plus guy. We'll get to that, I guess. But yeah, that backfield, I want to take both of those guys and ride that out because, as we know, we've talked about this in the past on these preview shows that Sean Payton has often produced not just one but two, high producing fantasy running backs in the same season most of the time. And with the way he schemes it up and they have enough talent on the perimeter, yeah, dude, I think they're going to run the shit out of the ball this year. And I love everything about Denver this year. I think they're one of these teams that could actually they actually might take down the Chiefs, and specifically because they can run the ball. And specifically run blocking is what these guys do on Denver. So I like RJ Harvey. And he profiles as a pretty good pass catcher, even though he didn't do a ton of it in college. Yeah, you can see what Sean Payton's thinking of, and maybe he sees a little baby Kamara in him.
Yeah, maybe. This is just like the gross part of the draft too, where I want him to be the answer, but then I like never take him. Like I'd really love for him to be the answer, like that I can be comfortable with at whatever this is, 54 overall. Because I don't want any of these dudes in this range besides like Pickens and Worthy whenever I'm feeling wild. Yeah, you can't get Trevion at 49 overall anymore, guys. Sorry. But anyway, yeah, he's one of those dudes. If we're just like doing true serum, why is this guy in this range? I can't talk myself into it. But all right, well, we need to jump into some running back talk. So let's do that next on Action is the Juice. Hope you enjoyed the overall preview. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Fitz. And do stick around for the running back preview coming up next.